Hey y'all, this is Jan with Queens Up Poker. Hope you're having a great day, and I'm so thankful that you chose to spend a little piece of it with me. So, I wanted to touch base on a couple of things. Well, first of all, the Frohawk. Let's discuss it. I absolutely love this style. I probably would have started the video a little bit earlier, but I was just so busy admiring it in the mirror. I think it's just adorable. I mean, it's a throwback to the 80s, but I mean, who didn't love watching Mr. T on A-Team in the 80s? Come on, all right? Anyhow, so moving on. I'm still working to get my studio space set up to be able to record some of the videos about some of the hand histories that I've played here recently. So in the meantime, I wanted to answer another question about how I started playing poker. So first and foremost, I grew up in a very religiously strict home. Gambling was a no-go, and I just never played it, obviously. I mean, I knew what it was, but I never played it. But I always played cards. I loved playing spades, bid whist, gin rummy, hearts. I mean, anything that involved a deck of cards, I'm in, okay? Including Uno. But I used to love playing cards just in general. So a few years ago, I found out that there's a way to play poker for free. So it's not really gambling. So I was on Meetup, the app Meetup, and ran across a group, or actually a few groups, that play free bar poker. So that's kind of how I ended up running across poker on the app Meetup. And I went the very first time. I was a total fish out of water. It was hilarious. Like, I got all dressed up because I'm like, oh, I'm going out for a night. Let's go see what happens. It's free, so I'll just be there all night playing. And that's when I get there. I walk in, and it's like the whole room, it was like a scene out of a movie. The whole room, to see this girl walk in, fully decked out, full makeup, dress, heels, the whole nine. And they're like, does she really belong here? What's going on? But I sat down, and I was out within the first 7 minutes. Like, literally, I played 3 hands. All my chips were in. Everybody smelled blood in the water. When I sat down, they knew full well I had no idea what I was doing. And sure enough, I was out. I went back to the tournament director, and I'm like, I need more chips. And she's like, did you bust out? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, you have to wait until the next game. I'm like, I thought it was free. She was like, yeah, but it's tournament style. So not only did I learn how to play poker, my very first experience with poker was a tournament, which is a totally different ball game than some of the people that I've seen playing cash games. It's a whole different mentality, a whole different strategy. So I am actually a tournament bar poker player. That's how I got my start. I was in a new situation in life, and I was looking for my tribe, so to speak. A lot of my friends I had, wasn't associating or communicating with a lot of my friends anymore. And I just kind of was in a place where I needed people. I needed human interaction. And that's what poker did for me. I knew any day of the week there was going to be a group of people, 20, 30 or more people in a room that I would be able to hang out with and get to know and talk about. And I hated having to go home by myself. So here's the thing. I got really good really fast because that was the only way I knew I would have something to do the entire evening. Because if I busted out too early, then I get to go home and sit there by myself. So I learned how to get really good at the game, learning how to read people, learning how to understand like when to make your moves, how to make your moves, so on and so forth. I was working from home. I was living alone. I was, single. And I'm like, this is just not okay. Like, I need human interaction. And that's what the bar poker scene did for me. It got me out of the house. It got me, to put on actual pants, not just sweats, but actual pants, and to get out and interact and be around people again. And so I just really, I have a special place in my heart for the game and specifically for the bar poker scene. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, stick with me on my channel. Hit subscribe and click the little bell notification so you'll know when I upload new videos, because that's mainly what I talk about, is the bar poker scene and the people that I run across and the hands that I play, and how you can learn how to play the game without having to be concerned about actually gambling, or without there being a risk involved of you losing your money. So continue to stay tuned. I love to hear your comments. And really pretty much any city in the country has a bar poker scene or a bar poker group. And the other thing about poker is that the cards don't care. What I mean by that is, growing up in the South, like I mentioned, being from Virginia, living in Atlanta for a while, as a Black female, sometimes you just feel like the odds are stacked against you. And it's a challenge, to just kind of go through life feeling like you're automatically at a disadvantage because of how you look. So, what I learned playing poker, because number one, I consider poker a metaphor for life. It has taught me so much about myself, helped me see the world differently, helped me understand people differently. It's just a really interesting game, in revealing, things about yourself and about others, as far as it was for me. But as a Black woman sitting down to play a game that is predominantly predominantly has male players and, even overwhelmingly white male players, I didn't have to feel like I was at a disadvantage, because the cards don't care. They don't care what color I am, what age I am, what, gender I am. Like, the cards don't care. And once you learn the game and you learn how to play it, it doesn't matter. Like, I didn't have to feel like I was at a disadvantage sitting down. Eventually, because like I said, it's a metaphor for life. So I did feel that way in the beginning, partially because I didn't know what I was doing, like I explained, but also because I just felt like, I was, I'm a Black girl at the table. They play a little bit more aggressively towards me, and I still see that now, but now I know how to use it against them. But anyhow, that's another video for another time. But the point is, that was another thing that I really appreciated about the game, is that, I could start at any point. I could be, anyone and master this game. Now, I'm not saying I've mastered it yet. There's always plenty more to learn, but I feel like I'm getting there. The other thing, though, is so cards, like I said, I've been playing cards pretty much my whole life, even though it wasn't poker specifically, spades, bid, whist, whatever. And that was the thing that my dad and I really had in common. He was a phenomenal card player. He just had a mind for math and statistics, and cards just came naturally to him. So whether he was playing spades or whist or hearts or, whatever, he was always the best one in the room. You should hear my mom talk about playing gin rummy with him. And she's like, if I could ever, like, she would beat him once every 3 to 6 months. And she was, booyah was her, catchphrase if and when she ever beat him in gin rummy. But it was such an event if she ever, beat him, as we sat down and, we were playing whatever. And so that was the thing that we really bonded over. I lost my dad last year. And that's another reason why poker and really any cards is a thing for me, because that was a thing that we really had in common. And honestly, the last conversation I ever had with my dad was actually about poker. I was on my way on a Saturday to a tournament event. It was a championship tournament for bar poker. And he talked to me. He gave me some strategies. He gave me spoke to me about life in general, not to live in fear. That's one of the main things that I remember. And that was a Saturday afternoon, and he did not wake up on Sunday morning. So it's another thing, I feel like the poker connection, or the card connection that we had, and we really were able to explore that, with poker as well, is another reason why the game means so much to me and why I try to stick close to it, because it makes me feel just a little bit closer to him. But anyhow, that answers the question as to how I ended up playing poker and why I've stuck with it for so long and why it means so much to me. So if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Like I said, please hit subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed the content, or if you would like to see more. So I look forward to checking in with you guys next week. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.